So when you come into the connector page, right, it's going to populate these prerequisites. Do you have the permissions? Do you have the right permissions to read and write permissions to those diagnostic settings? Do I have the right roles assigned to me? And then when you're in the configuration, you can start to select which ones that you get to see. Now, even though I have risky users and user risk events selected, I'm not going to be able to get those because I don't have the right Azure AD P2 license to get those. And you can see here. There we go. So looking at another data connector, Microsoft 365 for Defender, what I want to have happen is, if you remember from our last session, right, we had certain incidents coming in here. And now, instead of having like two different interfaces, one being the security portal here, where I get Defender or Defender for Office 365 incidents, I want to be able to just ship all those over to Sentinel, so I don't really have two places to monitor for incidents. So on my security page here on the home screen, if I scroll down, you have the Azure Sentinel integration, and you can see here my integration is enabled. And that's all facilitated through these data connectors. And then once again, just dependent upon the licensing that you have set up is going to determine which different events that you can pull in. So you can see from my Defender for Endpoint, I can get device events, device network events, network info. And really what these are going to play into is those data tables, and we'll be able to look at those using KQL here in a little bit. So really just wanted to push home, looking at those ways that we can get information into Sentinel using these data connectors. And then while I'm out here, we had that question earlier about cost. And currently the most expensive ingestion I have is from that syslog. And the way I did that is I have this legacy agent here dumping into security events. And right now what I'm doing is I'm pulling in common events, and this is a non-Azure machine. And we had to set up an agent on a Linux box to be able to export that syslog from our firewall, pump it to that syslog server, and then using the Windows legacy agent, pump those up into Sentinel through this data connector. And we'll investigate that a little bit more here in just a minute. All right, so does anyone have any questions on data connectors? Any comments?
What you just described about syslog, might be interested in learning more about at some point. I saw that there was a native connector called like Microsoft Syslog, I thought, or Azure Syslog, but I didn't know what the difference was. I don't want to get us off track for what you've got planned. So if you could point me in the right direction later.
You bet. Sorry, what was your
Great.
name again?
Patrick, sorry, Swackhammer.
Patrick. Yeah, we can, I'll make a note to get something set up with you so we can take that one offline.
Okay.
I'll show you all the dirty bits in the background that we did to get that working, and some of the intricacies of using a Azure management agent versus a legacy agent versus trying to shove syslog in through, there's a bunch of different ways that you can ingest this data.